the majority of you are still in the Lyceum Academy, um, having just attended the War Council meeting and hearing from a bunch of different people and some of the issues that are still, we'll say, pregnant here in town, waiting to hatch and erupt, as it were. Others brought on by revelations and presentations of elvish majorities, and afterward, our resident ninja, who doesn't go by the title of ninja, disappeared, following them out to a ship where she broke aboard and found out that it seems like the lady elf, whose name has a lot of SH's in it. Oh man, what is her name? Her name is the Shaelesti leader. No, what the fuck is her name? Her dad's Lord Shaladel. She is
Shaeless?
His name is Robert.
Shaelis? No. Shalosha. Shalosha. That's what it was. There's so many SH's. Shalosha. She was writing a letter back to her dad to kind of plea the concept of invading Sequin is not a good move, and that the locality is very much against that. No bueno. However, she continues to abide by his rule, and this naval blockade continues to be in place. We then almost saw a foiled plan of escape, but Dolan's got a Dolan, and Obscurity's got to be obscure, and she dove into the sea and swam back. She's now facing one level of exhaustion until she can get some rest, and the rest of you are still in the tower, and I'm wondering what it is you want to do. One of the things that did come up that, through some texts was that Venice shared some information about the missing women that you had heard about in the southern area, as well as the fact that it may be tied to a local crime boss. And I think that you guys may, like, the people who may or may not have done some digging into this previously, may have found out some of this information as well. But as he shares it with you, you have that. But you still have the chance to catch the ear of anyone you want to speak with. And additionally, Simon had asked a chance to speak with you further when you had a moment, and then had gone back to kind of like,
yo, what's good, people?
Oh, we got a Thursday night Brian show.
Yay, in the hizzy.
we got a stray.
What's up? DJ has this like crazy DJ setup. He had to unpress the mute button for me. I like how many I can see how many decibels I am. I'm really fucking loud.
Yes.
We already knew that, though.
Yes.
You knew that?
We knew that.
You didn't know that. That's a fucking lie.
That's not news.
Alright, we Tomb or what? Let's go. Let me roll up Tomb of Annihilation. Why is Kevin's name crossed out here, TJ? I don't understand that. Why is it crossed out with the skull next to it? I don't get that.
Stop reading his notes, man.
And the date of this Saturday. I don't understand.
Too much.
I don't understand either, because I'm just stuck against a wall. So I'm not even going to be part of the final fight.
Yeah, there's I see a crude drawing of Gust and Lava. Yeah, very, very similar. I get it. I get it, TJ. I see what you're trying to do here.
No one's hoping for that. Not even TJ.
TJ's like, somebody's got to survive this whole thing. Somebody.
This headset's pretty nice. Comfortable. I like this mic. Can you guys hear me better? Is it like I'm there? Nice. Still fucking tone right now. Wow.
Bing, bang, boom.
Brave. Yeah. All right, let's do some rolls here.
So I'm guessing for the party right now, for the Thursday night party, there's suddenly a very raucous and very ready to party human that appears to be wielding some kind of weapon that has foam darts, and also is saturated to the point of looking like he might need a towel to dry off. And
Oh, jeez.
that's another person that you can talk to that's now in the tower that you find yourself.
Hey, little T
I'm
was
sure he
throwing
probably has a bunch
those
of
water
cards.
balloons at me. All right, Tom. That was all
Oh.
little T.
Oh, I think there were several, but Little T got the biggest kick for sure.
All right, I'm leaving. Here you go, TJ. I'm done.
And just as suddenly as this emergent figure appeared, they dip out a side door, never to be seen again, or until next Thursday. We'll see.
Not Saturday.
Well, yeah, maybe on Saturday, but I don't know if this group will see that. These particular PCs. So, yeah. So, is there anything else that you wanted to accomplish here? Are there other places that you want to go to? Do multiple people want to talk to Simon? What do we want to see happen?
Yeah, I think, I mean, if anyone has any thoughts on anyone they want to talk to, that's fine. I can talk with Simon if anyone else wants to jump in too.
All right, so I'll cut to that, but everybody please know that if there are other things that you want to do, feel free to do it. And just as a recap, just in case there's like just as a recap, there was the Austerlin ambassador that Kane kind of had words with, as well as several other council members, that was saying like, yeah, Austerlin will support Sequin if you give us a third of all your land. There was the ambassador from Sindare, who was the kind of the cool gnome that told everybody about the area where the old dragon was slain, and this canyon of fire that continues to rain down, and the only thing that comes out of it are like undead things. There was an ambassador from Dason who said that Dason's not above lending support, but currently the king, Steppengard, was upset because so many people had been traveling through his lands, and that he had been approached with kind of a peace treaty by Regesia to let them through his lands like unmolested, and that would mean that they would not try to overthrow him and his government. There was Katrina, who was your party member, who finally said something nice to obscurity. There was Giorgio, the sort of flamboyant person that we have now labeled Jen's cousin. There was Lorbeck, who is the giant eagle riding paladin or holy warrior, whatever, that you guys helped with the church quest. Xavius Fobane, the dwarven commander from formerly from Dason, who is trying to create basically a war force here in Sequin out of the folks that are refugees coming in. He's also the person that Nim defeated handedly at the Game of Conquest. Lee Sidneth is the person in charge of the Navy, also Torrent's former master, also somebody that you saw in a place that shall not be mentioned. Magistrate Lord Vortbird, who is basically like the mayor / head of the political scene in Sequin, former pirate, dwarven ex-pirate, now local politician. There was Simon, head of the Lyceum, and then of course there was his sort of right-hand man, the person who had set up all of the sort of protective magics in the Orid Tower that you met in, and that person's name was Kiernan Steckart, another a dwarven spellcaster. All right, so think about anybody that you want to talk to if you want to talk to them, and in the interim, Simon kind of notices that Nim is coming over, and anybody else that wants to can say, or we'll just sort of go from there. And he's like, I think this room might be a little too overcrowded for what I would like to discuss with you. So please follow me. And he kind of leads you through like another hallway to another room that can kind of a door can be closed against the din and sound of the people that are still freaking out about the people from Ostalin and the audaciousness of what the Shaelesti elves just said, etc. And as the door closes, the sound is quieted. Everybody can still hear it. And he says, "So, if I understand what has been presented, you are in fact people of notable intel, as you have come from Gate Pass, which, from what we hear, is still under assail by the Regessian forces. Um, I would love to hear more about that. I know that you spoke eloquently about it, but I'd love to know more. And what can we do? Because I've also heard about the numerous acts that since coming here as refugees, you've done to aid Sequin in some of the local turbulence and strife that's been happening. So I humbly ask that I gain your confidence and that you might share with me other insights or questions or concerns that you might have.
Uh, yeah, I guess I can kind of give him a. Well, I mean, he already got the recap of all the story and everything like that because we had two people singing about it, right?
It was good. It was a good show.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to give all the credit for all that, but fine. Um, but okay, so he knows kind of what we've done and things of that nature. So it's not something where it's like he'll be surprised. It's not like I have to give a recap of any of what we've done to kind of.
I think what he says as you're saying this is he says, look, you have traveled a long and arduous way to get to Sequin from Gate Pass. You fled that city. Now, I guess my question is, did you flee that city simply because you wanted to find a potential safe haven for those of you who could cast spells, or was there some other motivation?
Well, not being set on fire was pretty big motivating factor. Uh, but yeah, I mean, anything we could do to kind of stop Regessia, because at this point the march has not stopped. So anything we have to do to get them to stop more legitimately, not legitimately, but more, I don't want to say permanently as though we're trying to take out all Regessians, but anything that we can do to kind of stop that march and halt what they are trying to do and all of the spellcasters that they are trying to eliminate wouldn't be something that we're opposed to.
I understand and I appreciate your presence and what you've done. I just wish there was a way that we could have a better understanding of maybe what some of their plans are.
And who is this guy?
So this is Simon. Simon is the head of the Lyceum and the person who put out the call to mages that the Lyceum in Sequin was a safe haven for them.
I'd say you're probably on the boat at that point.
Yeah, I gotta scroll back all the way down. Yeah, obscurity. you are either on the boat or getting ready to jump off the boat at this point. So for the majority of the start of this, these conversations will be outside of where you're at because of last week's ventures. Call. All right. But yeah, that's what he says to you.
All right, and
Do you think Torrent is with you? Torrent was in the chamber. Did you bring her with you towards it? She would have come, but if you were just like, no, I got this, that's fine.
yeah, I'm just trying to think of, how much, not that I distrust him, but also how much do I trust him, sort of thing.
Torrent, if Torrent's with you, Torrent she kind of looks at you, looks at Simon, looks back at you, and then from seemingly pulling it out of her pocket, she hands you a folded piece of paper. Just a small, like almost like a note that was passed in school.
I'm sorry, what did she pull out?
She just handed you a small folded piece of paper.
Oh, okay. I spit my gum out, and
Yep.
so I'll take a look at it.
The note says, "Good discretion. We should tell him. We came all this way."
I mean, she's been trying to get us to tell everyone anyway. Yeah, he's probably the one to go with. Well, but we only have half of it, right? We only have the translation.
You have the case, which you have been unable to decipher.
Right, so that thing does. There is some stuff to it. Who has been working on it? It was Moruck was trying to, right?
To be fair, Moruck did figure out that it was written in Infernal, but no further knowledge has been garnered yet.
All right, so in that case, I would want to bring Moruck, if he's cool with that, to take a look and to make the call.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
And then just kind of, are you cool with discussing with him and, this is the thing that you've been trying to work with, sort of thing. So I just want to make sure, I've been holding it, but also you've been working on it. But if I'm okay with, working with this guy and having him translate it, but
Yeah.
Torrent's trying to get us to tell everyone, so that doesn't. There's not as much weight. What about that guy on the street, Torrent?
Tell him.
Fucking stop.
Torrent, stop.
Did you tell that fucking the jabroni guy who's been following us? Oh my god! Please stop. Judson?
Close.
No, it's right.
It's not.
It's not wrong. It's not close. It's correct. We're on a first name basis. So yeah, if you're kind of okay with it, I'm okay with it.
Judson,
but just kind of.
Judson is right. It is a first name, but Figovich.
I know.
Is his
I
last
know.
name.
Yeah, obviously I know that. I have it right next to his other name.
Stowaway? Okay.
I didn't remember one of his names. I remembered neither of them,
right.
and I have it written
anyways,
down.
So you guys are in this room. You have this kind of silent meeting while Simon sits there going I guess I guess you should just talk amongst yourselves while I look out this window, but all right. And then you present to him the case, and do you say anything about it, or how does that go?
Yeah, if we're presenting it to him, then it's something where I will present it and just say, this is what we have procured along the way of, in our travels with everything that's been going on. This is one of the things that we have managed to get our hands on. We believe this is something that will tell us more of what the... Wait, do we think it's the Regessians? Because it's not just the Shealesti.
No,
This...
it was Regessian intel that had been smuggled out by I think it was the most unattractive gnome anyone had ever seen. But the Shealesti were trying to grab it to intercept it before it got to your folks.
Right. So, yes, there is some translating that must be done. And I would like to have my friend Moruk here be a part of the translation, and I believe this will help us in preparation, but I also still want to keep this discovery as secret as possible. So, as few people as we can work on a translation with.
I would. So if you hand it over, he says, I will abide by your request, but because of the volatile nature that this item may in fact be ensorcelled with, I would like to ask that Steckhart could come in and help me with it, if you are obliged to that.
Which one's that?
That is the dwarf that is in charge of the war council of the Lyceum. He's the black-haired dwarf that knocked out the student because the student opened the door too fast.
Then I am absolutely not okay with that.
Well, I mean, he is one of our most skilled spellcasters, and if this were to unleash something, he would be the most helpful in trying to contain that. I know he might be a little...
Or he might be the one that fucking blasts it in the first place. I'm all set. If you don't need it, then I'm sure there's other people who can help us translate it.
You know what? You raise a good point, and I will.
I do not trust his discretion in any way, shape, or form.
I understand. I will tell
That's
you
like
that,
literally the thing I was saying.
Okay. I will tell you that I wholeheartedly trust Steckhart to be the most salient of persons that want to see Sequin survive and persevere. But I also understand that you have come here and you wish to remain the secrets that this may contain with some sense of anonymity. So I will do my best to keep Steckhart out of this until such time as either you decide to loop him in or otherwise. Understood.
Yeah. Any information that you think that we gain that it would be beneficial for him to have. I've got no problem with him getting the information. Just
you feel he is a little too trigger happy. Okay, I understand.
Yes, I'm not looping him completely out. Just he doesn't need to be in the inner circle. He can get the information that he needs, and we take care of that as it presents itself.
So he goes, well, interestingly enough, the young man that he struck is one of our sort of linguistic and language experts. So is it all right if I were to bring Johan in here and ask his expertise as well? Because it looks like, as I'm just sort of precautionarily taking a look at it, that it is written in the infernal language, but not with any sense of normalcy, which I'm sure you've already deciphered yourself.
I point to my. He did. I did. I don't know.
But you guys are cool with Johan coming in.
Yeah.
All right, so he kind of opens the door, kind of calls out. Johan comes in. He looks much better. He doesn't look like he just got tackled by a linebacker and thrown into a wall anymore. It looks like he's recovered himself pretty well. And he's like, Johan, help me as I take a look at this, because it seems like what they've done is they've taken the infernal language and turned it into a cipher of some sort. And Johan starts, like, he pulls out like a parchment and starts like jotting down notes. And if you've ever played like a cryptography game where you're given a a, a a key, and then you've got to figure it out. They first have to figure out the key, and so they kind of work on it for a little bit. But he goes, please just give us some time. And you see them like casting some sort of magics over the case that seem to be Morak. You probably I'll just give it to you. They're spells of protection, so that if, as they're tampering with it, it blows up, it doesn't blow up in their face. But they also seem to be casting spells that are contained or connected to linguistics, like the idea of language understanding, or the idea of maybe being able to piece together how a language could be tied into a cipher. And after about 10 minutes of casting various divinations and whatnot, Simon comes back and says, well, what we've been able to figure out is that this book was written by a man named Krevin. Does that hold any importance to any of you? And Nim, you would immediately recognize that as one of the top inquisitors in Regesia. In fact, Krevin is the second in command of the Regesian Inquisitors.
Oh, I thought you said Kreb.
Krebs. Yeah,
Yeah.
Krabs. Yeah, Krevin. Kreben.
Like Kreb. It's like, oh,
Yes,
okay.
Krevin. Yep.
Why? I know I have this somewhere.
You had
Because
discovered at one point.
is he the one that summons demons?
He is. So it would seem that all of the Inquisitors have the ability to
Right.
what's the word? Communicate. I'm like combat. No, that's the wrong word. Communicate and interact with demonic forces, or at least devilish forces, and that from what you've seen from Inquisitors thus far, his skills would be even that much more expansive than what you've encountered thus far.
So yeah, I will share that. I'm just kicking myself because I can't find where I have it specifically. But yes, I will.
So
I will let
I
them
mean,
know.
that would probably make the rest of this that much more of import to everything that we're working on, as Simon says, um, because it seems like it was written by Krevin, but it was read and approved by someone who is immune to divinations, and I would guess that that's most likely Leska herself, the current leader of all of Regesia. Obviously, magic has been used to scramble these words in order to encrypt it and create this cipher that we're trying to break. But Krevin believed that his initial protections were so secure that there was a book that was connected to this. Do you have the book, or I ask because it seems to reference a book.
There was a scroll that this held, and I believe it is in the hands of the Shealesti.
Huh. Well, it looks like the book held, at a minimum, the cipher that we were able to crack to figure this out. But it also says that it says that the Regessian army is somehow tied to the Scourge, which is weird because the Regessian army has been referring to themselves as the Scourge. So I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if it's haven't broken the cipher enough yet, or that. But it also seems to continue this thought process that we've been seeing put in action, that Leska's military's orders are to capture hundreds, if not thousands, of disloyal mages. But as he says that, he says, I'm having a memory. I'm having a thought. I think that the word scourge has another meaning. It's old. Oh, what is it? I can't remember. But so hold on. There is a little bit more I want to say before we kind of go back. But so the last thing I can see that Joan and I can make out right now is that Krevin and some unknown person, it refers to them in a word I can't translate. Just the symbology doesn't make sense. But this Krevin and this unknown person approved of a book that was concerned with legends surrounding something called the Trilith. And I don't know what that is, but I can. The language is very succinct. That those letters and symbols turn into the word Trilith. What I would like to ask is, this is very important, and you have risked your lives. And I will keep Steckhart out of the further translation attempts. But is it possible that you could give me a little bit more time with this, and I could maybe figure something else out? I'll happily bring it back to you. Do you have a place you're staying? That I could bring it to?
Moruk, are you cool with like hanging around with it?
I'll stay.
Because I was just figuring that like they're really getting into magic stuff. I don't know if you can kind of learn from him. Like, this is the head of the order. This will definitely get you in the fucking door.
Yeah.
This is the guy. This is the guy that can get you.
So
like Lee said, he'll work on getting you in. You're in the room with the guy right now.
This was kind of
right.
the idea for having a code. I was thinking.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, cool.
Okay. He says, "Yeah, I mean, it was Moruk, I believe. You are more than welcome to come in and try to pour over this." And he says, "I don't mean to sort of shush the rest of you away, but like, this is something that could take several hours. Is there a place that
I'm already leaving."
Yep. But
can he stay with it? It's just like, oh, I would not turn him away. But see the thing,
Bye.
and you're gone.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
It's almost Batman-esque, except
well,
I don't try and rush away and hide.
Wait, before he leaves, he does ask. He's like, he's like, Johan, stop. Just hold up for a minute. Just take a break. Take a breather. Moruk too. You're already in it. Like, your faces are in scrolls. Stop. I'm happy to, if there's anything else you need me to take a look at, to maybe give you whatever other information I can. I do have some identification spells and thaumaturgies that I can use to help out. Again, you've traveled a long way. You've seen a lot of things. Is there anything I can help with?
I'll turn my bag upside down.
So
I don't know. Does any of this look weird?
As you turn your back upside down, things just start breaking on the ground.
Yeah. That was one of the things I meant. Well, it's broken now, so
through the room, you all immediately die. Yeah, no.
You can take care of that, right? Thump.
So there's, you know what? I will peel the curtain back to say that Simon is a 13th level diviner.
Ooh.
So he got some levels on y'all in the moment. But that said, he's also offering to help identify anything that you guys have found that maybe you don't know about. And I know that there are a couple items that either you don't know the full story about, or I don't know that you know much about it at all. That you found either in the fire forest or in your travels to get to Sequin.
Shit. Okay. So I've got... Apparently I have an item called Inspiration, which is weird. Maybe I did that because I was going to start keeping track of how many inspiration
I
I
think
got.
that's what that was, yeah.
And then I just didn't.
Like, I'm not doing this.
So I've only got one, which is the same as the amount that I have marked off by just clicking Inspiration. So that doesn't help anyone. So Anchor Feather Token. What the hell was that? Ancestry Cord. I know what that one was.
The anchor feather token basically was it created a weight for you, I think, if you wanted to hold something in place.
Okay.
You guys did know what that was. I did tell you what that was.
Yeah. Flaming Stump Hook. Wait, hold on. Does this say something? Can be used to stop a boat from being able to move for 24 hours. Captain's Hook from rescuing the creatures for the Lyceum.
Yep.
Okay. Inquisitor's Mask of the Bear. That's just...
It's basically... the +1 stump is... If you don't have a hand, you can stick the stump on it and have a +1 weapon for your hand. But it means you've got to lose your hand to use it.
We were all trying to figure out who's going to lose their hand first.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I've got the 2 claw things. Boreas's claws. So I already have some cool stuff on my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Tide Reaver's Tears, Bloody Tears, constantly, strength check, Vials of Shatter Spell.
I'm sorry, so you know what you figured out what the Tide Reaver's Tears were?
I mean, this glass sphere appears to be filled with bloody tears and leaks them constantly through the drip. Though the drips soon evaporate while holding this sphere, you have advantage on strength ability checks and saving throws to swim through water and to avoid being pushed by strong winds and water. While it is activated, you likewise drip blood, which is eerie but harmless. 8 of those.
Okay, so yes, so you know what that is. How many do you have?
8.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Good. That was one of the items I didn't know if you had figured out. I remembered that you got them. I didn't know if you'd figured it out. And then you also, I'll suss it out a little bit more. You guys also have an item that you found when you fought those like ghost dragon things, those ghost crystal dragons in the tower where you first met. What the hell's her name? The girl from the Fire Forest that you brought with you.
Yeah, the elf that's not an elf.
The winged elf that can't fly. Yes.
Right.
Lame backstory.
Well, I went through my list, so I don't know if someone else might have.
So Venice, are you there right now?
Tiljan?
I might be.
Tiljan is the name of the elf, yes.
Yeah.
So Venice, if you're part of this conversation, he would be.
Oh, I have that crystal. That's random.
Which crystal?
I had an arcane focus crystal from I think that I stole off of somebody.
Okay. So I will say that one is something that could be identified, and also there is you have the little pods or eggs that you didn't do when you decided to do drugs.
Oh, good. I don't remember having those. So cool.
You had a couple of those.
Okay. I got some drug eggs.
Unless it was Nim who was carrying them and you thought they were something else. But you remember that what they did was they basically drugged you into a sleep that allowed you to have connection to the astral plane. Um, that the cleric that was the head of the tower had experimented with, but got no results, and that was because elves don't actually sleep. So they take them and it puts them into a torpor, but they're in a
Oh,
torpor for 2 hours, and then they come back out and they're like, I didn't feel anything. However, Kristen decided to imbue with you, and that summoned the crystal dream dragons things that you had to fight.
I
So
recall.
if you want to ask, he might know more about that. Maybe he won't, but
Yes,
those are
so
the things.
why that happens.
All right. So he will take these items if you present them to him. And so right now we're talking about the crystal, the focus crystal, and I can't remember what these things were called. I don't have the book in front of me, but they were like dream crystals or something like that, or like something
Weren't they like
pea pods.
seeds?
Seeds, yeah,
Yeah,
dream seeds. Was it dream? Maybe it was dream seeds. It was something like that. So if you want,
dream
he'll
pea.
take one and try to figure out what it is, and then keep digging into the Regesian case. And you just see like three nerds, Moruck being one of them, being like nerd, 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 just jumping into this and trying to figure it out. Um, and so with that, I'll throw it to the party to say, what do you guys want to do? It's kind of like mid to late afternoon right now. You guys could just go back to the house and retire. Simon has said that it's probably going to take a couple hours, if not more, to figure this out. Moruck's there with him, so you got eyes on the prize. It's not going to disappear and go anywhere. Johund is obviously somebody who can be crippled if hit with a spell, so no one's really worried about Johund. Um, and he's going to review those other items and let you know about them as soon as he can get more intel. Uh, what do the rest of you want to do? Do you want to go rest? Do you want to do whatever? Um, it's up to you guys, but I'm asking because I don't know what you want.
I would probably present the items to him and ask for some assistance with it.
And I'm sorry, he will agree to do that.
Oh,
But like the priority, he says, is like I think that our priority should be to figure out as much as we can about this case and
oh,
its
that's fine.
contents. But please understand that as soon as we get as much as we can with this, I intend to escort Moruck back to wherever it is y'all are staying, and ensure that also I define these items for you and give you whatever information I can about.
Brilliant.
And I won't make you guys make insight checks. I think it's just fair to say that this guy's legit. He is the person that put the call out that says, if you're being persecuted by Regesia and you're a mage, come to Sequin. If you're being persecuted by Regesia, come to Sequin. I want this to be a bastion of hope against the sort of authoritarian and imperialism being forced on people by Regesia. We all deserve to live free. That's his mode, that's his vibe, that's his thing. Like there's no subterfuge about that at all.
Okay.
All
Yeah. I would probably start heading back in order to maybe do some more investigation on the brothel incident and see if anyone wanted to help me with it.
Okay, so I will say this, that it's probably you've probably got a couple hours before it's going to get dark. Um, Obscurity. I think that if you're cool with this, what I'd like to say is that after your adventure and your eventual several hour swim back to shore, um, you just kind of take a very wet and drippy jog, because I'm sure even with exhaustion, you're like, gotta keep working on it. You jog back to your new abode that you guys have been made aware of, and just get back there. And whether you sit up to wait to tell people things, or you want to go to sleep, whatever it is, I'm going to say that if you're cool with it, that's what I'd like to say you do. And then everybody else, like I said, you get a couple hours before dark. Um, if there are things that you want to go check out and go try to investigate or do, so be it. If you guys just want to go back home, that's cool too. But I want to give you guys the opportunity to use those hours however you see fit. Also, super weird fun fact from today as well. As I got on the plane to get back to Portland, there was somebody wearing a T-shirt that said Pliny the Elder, um, which is a beer that's brewed by the Russian River Brewing Company out in California. And I hadn't heard about that beer in a while. And right before the game started, I had a chance to run out and just grab like a beer or two because I'm giving up on this diet that does nothing to get rid of the constant sense of being choked. And and there was a Pliny the Elder there that I could grab, and I was like, "Hey, more random circumstances from today. I appreciate this. That's nice." So, all right. So, what do you guys want to do? We've got Sylvanus traveling to the Southern District to see if he can follow up on this whole missing people and crime lord scenario. What are other people doing? Or other people just being like, "No, Sylvanus, you go do you. We're gonna go crash." I don't know. Sylvanus, it sounds like it might just be you. I'm happy to like go have Simon have a one-off adventure, but is everybody else literally not doing anything?
I am not. I'm not allowed to do anything at this point, right? I'm swimming and then crashing at the house.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well,
My
what I said
understanding.
was once you got back to shore, if there was something that you wanted to try and do, let me know, and sure we can do that before you go back to the house.
Yeah, I want
Uh,
to relay the information I gathered. That's what I want to do.
yeah, no. So you can absolutely do that at the house because that's where everyone's going to wind up. I just meant that like before you got back to the house
I
was if
was I wasn't thinking just our people. I was thinking like the war council. Would they have, or at least Simon, actually. I was really only thinking about Simon, uh, uh giving him the information, um, as well as our crew. But
I I do like the idea that by the time that you get to back to the Lyceum, that the majority of the sort of local leaders and that the ambassadors are gone. But I mean, Simon is the headmaster of the Lyceum, so that you could absolutely go in and sort of request an entourage or a seeing, and you're probably invited back up to this room in the tower that you were in. And you see Moruk, you see Johund, the guy that got blasted because you took off. You didn't really see the fallout from that. And Simon opens the door and he's like, so I mean, we're a little in the middle of things. Also, how did they not dry you off as you came in? Here, let me help you. Like, like does the whole like
prestidigitation.
prestidigitation blow dryer thing, so you're finally dry and not dripping anymore. He's like,
Oh, that's
He's like,
wonderful. Thank
I
you.
would ask where you've been, but you know what? You asked to come in here, and I am in the middle of something. As you can see, Moruk kind of like has that half moment where he turns, he's like, "What's up?" and then goes back to what he's doing. Um, but if you want to share that with him, he'll be like, if you share it, are you you know what are you going to share? Why don't we say that?
Okay. I'm gonna
Because you
let
can say a
Simon know.
lot of things. That's why
Yeah,
I'm like, you
exactly.
tell me.
You're
You
like,
tell
what
me.
are you telling them? So I followed the squadron that made their way here, that was coming to negotiate, in quotes, while rolling my eyes. Um, I followed them back to their ship, and the commander that spoke on behalf of the Shaelesti is the daughter of the prime leader, for lack of a better term. Um,
Well, what she said during her speech was the admiral
Admiral, yeah.
was her
So,
father. So
right.
it
So
was
she's the daughter of the admiral.
okay. Yes.
Um, and she's the weak key for us. The admiral has given her orders. I don't know explicitly what those orders are, but essentially, what it seems like is that the orders have been to eliminate us if we do not comply. She, in her heart, does not want to eliminate us. She feels like there's more reasonable negotiations that are feasible and would be more beneficial for everyone involved. Though, so she sent a message to the admiral, imploring that she be allowed to negotiate more reasonably in a way that's more fair for all of us, so that we can all become safe and all potentially work together to defend against the Regessians. Just know that she seemed to believe that the admiral was not going to be willing to negotiate. She seemed to believe that the admiral was going to stand firm on his original decisions. And she is also, at least verbally and in her letter that she wrote to the admiral, assuring that regardless of her disagreements with the choice, she will uphold his word. So, as it stands, if we don't agree, the Strehalesti will come to force us to comply by death or any other means necessary. She
Well,
is the only key that could change that potentially.
well, listen. As I said at the opening of the council meeting, I am no veteran of wars. Feel myself being thrust into this role because of situations as opposed to because of experience. I think that your intel is most valuable in the sense that finding out where there are strong and weak points to make and hold debate or at least contention is important. And it makes me wonder how many others of this elvish naval fleet that are out there might share her disdain for the admiral's, her father's concept of domination of Sequin as opposed to some other peaceable mechanism. But I do think too that it is important, you know, to play out all the odds beyond before reacting. And I also think that if the most that they're doing in the moment, just providing this blockade, well, it means there's a presence here if the Regessians do show up, like as much as you don't want to barter with the devil sometimes that devil can be helpful if you know what to do with them. So so your efforts are most appreciated. I would ask how you know that she was writing a letter to her father, but I also know that oftentimes when it comes to matters of, how should we say, counterintelligence, that the less you know, the more you know. So I appreciate this intelligence, but also you look very tired, and I would think that if you're okay to make it on your own, you should go to wherever you could find some rest. But thank you.
I nod my head and I walk out.
You fall asleep ever so slightly. No, I'm here. I've got this. It's cool.
I
It's
just
fine.
I just sit in the corner and slump down and take a nap.
Mark, wake me up.
Yeah. Well, Rock, wake me up when you go home.
Oh, see, I was waiting for you not to clarify that, so he leaves, goes to the house,
Just leaves me
comes
there.
back, wakes you up in the morning.
Yeah.
So I mean that's up to you, Jen. Do you want to sleep in a corner or do you want to go back to where there's
No,
an
no,
empty
no, no, no.
bed?
Yeah, I'll go back because I wanna relay the same information
Okay,
to
all
my
right. Well, like I said, totally up to you. All right, so we've got that going on.
So
Um,
I was dealing with Kelton before that would have happened. Before we actually had left, I would like to go to was it Lee, and just hey, is there anything that you know of where people can make money in this town?
like this big smile. What was it you were thinking?
There, I'd imagine that there are so many options.
You know, and he kind of like puts his arm around your shoulder, says, and he does that whole like the other hand does like the pan out, like like the world is our oyster, and he just says, the more people, the more opportunity. So if you have an idea, I've always got an ear open because the future's bright. And he smiles, and you see that like bing on his tooth as he does it.
All right, I just want to point out to everyone that Thomas tried to keep stealing different things from Gust. Anyway, I already stole that from Guy.
I think that the teeth gleaming is definitely something that more than just Guy Sensei does. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, but it's his.
All right, fair enough. All right.
Yeah. All right, so what is this guy like? What does he do? I know he's Torrance Master. He's bald, tanned, muscular man dressed like a fisherman.
Thanks, Jan. So
That was
he
your
is
description. So it was
he is a hydromancer, and so master, basically a waterbender, and he is head of the Sequin Navy. But the Sequin Navy is made up a lot of like merchant and like fisherman boats.
Have there been issues with the Navy being able to do anything because of the blockade?
He said that currently the blockade is sending ships to the southern side, where they don't have enough because the city itself, the bay that is 6, the Sequin Bay, doesn't have space to support the refugee ships coming in. So they're getting shipped around to the southern side of Sequin, and they don't have piers enough for them to dock, so they're basically anchoring or mooring in the harbor. And that it's a problem because the folks that are on the boats are trying to come to shore, but they're sort of facing some issues. You've dealt with some of them in the sense of like the Eder crops, whatever they were, that were down there. But like it's there's a couple problems happening in the moment in with regards to it. In fact, I just want to go back to make sure I'm not forgetting something. North Harbor is crowded. New ships to the South Harbor aren't adequate docks. Lee thinks it's best that most ships not be piered so they can move quickly in case of an attack. But the problem with that would be that if these ships are on the southern side, the best that they could do would be to rally against the ships on the southern blockade. It wouldn't be something that they could create an assault on both sides. Um, but his general stance is that that force should be built up because these are merchant and even large fishing vessels that are not the match to like galleons. I think a good example would be we were on our pirate ship at the beginning of Pirates, and you had one of like the ulterior admiral ships or whatever sail by us that we saw, and we were like, nope, we're not touching that kind of thing. I remember like a very clear moment in Pirates where a much larger ship was seen and spotted and didn't notice us, and we all breathed a sigh of relief because we didn't have to battle it, kind of thing.
Well, was that the one where? Oh, that was the
Yeah.
one with the
It was very
The
early
lady
on,
with the
but yes.
horns.
Yeah. Yes, it was. There was a very distinct female. We are jumping between worlds right now, but for reference
Yes.
sake, yes, that is it.
Uh, okay, so just in terms of the sheer size and everything.
So yeah,
All
so
right,
if you
so
think of ships of that size, that's what these galleons are in comparison to like a
the
tuna
biggest.
trawler and
Yeah.
like a cargo vessel. Like yeah, they could go out there and put up a fight, and if they could get up next to it and onboard enough people, sure. But the galleons probably have cannons and other things that could shoot them down before they can get to them, and then it's going to be a slaughter. So Lee's just to repeat what he said is just like the best thing that we can hope for is a massive force, and keeping them peered out in the harbor means that we could mobilize them faster than if they're just sitting in Sequin Bay, right? Like so if we set up
Hmm.
multiple spots where we're holding them, they're moored close to each other. Like I'm just like this is an example. If everybody's moored right here, right, where I'm clicking, and you got 10, 15 ships, you might lose some as you get to here, but you might be able to take out one of those ships, and then if you take it over, turn it over, go to the next one kind of thing. And he's like, if we can set that up in multiple locations, that might be the most subtle way that we could dominate against what's sitting in our harbor saying, you don't get to leave kind of thing.
Right.
But also he smiles with the non-Guy Sensei smile, and you remember seeing that same smile
Oh yeah.
in a
Yeah.
location that will not be
Num-
mentioned. So
so what's going on with the sunken ruins that I've heard about?
to the eastern part of Sequin.
Yeah, you're a hydromancer. You must know. It's water, sunken.
He goes, you know, that would be a great place for anyone looking to seek adventure in. Maybe even No, I'm not going to be guessed. That's too much. I'm not going to. So, but basically, he says, um, so legends have it that this peninsula was once um, run by like a very powerful mage of some sort. But over the decades, over the years, over the everything, it fell apart. And either he died and his magics fell apart, and then it just went to shit, or we're not sure. But basically, it seems like the center of whatever was happening was out there on the eastern promenade, and people for generations now have tried to go out there and find treasure and other things, fame, fortune, glory, etc. And generally what happens is people go out there and die because
Yeah.
there's like underground lava tubes, there's just a bunch of shit that's out there. And I mean, like I will never tell anybody no, don't go exploring, because there have been people that have come back and they've found treasure that have set them up for life. But at the same rate, if you look at the odds are you're probably going to go out there and either find nothing, you're going to find scars, or you're going to find death. That's the reality of the ruins.
Is it something where I'm posing this as a hypothetical because I don't know exactly what may be encountered. If there was something where a pathway were cleared, from what I've heard there, and I don't know if this map is accurate, I'm just kind of going on this as kind of an envisioning thing in terms of these islands, and just mentioning the islands and wondering if there's anything that we could set up in there if we were able to set up a pathway through there.
I think his response would be, I think that we could potentially create another like flotilla of ships out there that could be ready to be aggressive if we need them. But I think that if we do this in too many places that aren't obvious right off the bat, it's going to become obvious that we're doing it. And I also think that anybody that's out there, they can't send parties to shore to give them supplies. So on the northern shore, all along the northern shore, we could have people moored that don't block the main harbor that could start these flotillas. Along the southern shore, we could do it. So maybe less so because we only have sort of that centralized area on the south. But because we don't have people and items to get out to people on the eastern shore, it would be difficult. We would have to
Well, I mean,
create
I
some sort
guess
of like
that's
rotation or something.
yeah, that's like what I'm saying is like if we were able to set something up where if we had boats hidden behind here, where if there was a path that were possible to be created, could we bring supplies to them so they're in place and there's no suspicion? Because all of a sudden, did these ships even get here? Even if
I
they
think,
were here, they should
yeah,
have been out of supplies.
I think his thought process is to say that that's not a bad idea, not at all. As far as like another way to hide what our thoughts are as far as building a naval fleet, but I think that we would probably need to find a better mechanism of getting them supplies, because if we're telling people to anchor off in the sunken ruins and they have refugees, they have people that need medical help, they need people, they need things, they're going to die before they can get to that help
Oh,
interiorly in any way.
I was using this as just in terms of a military sort of if there were going to be. I'm not thinking of having people go that way. Sorry,
Okay,
that was
okay. So I'm sorry. So he says
unclear.
we could probably do that, but what we're trying to do right now, or what I'm trying to do right
Is
now,
just
is build that up on the
open up.
southern shore, and then if we can, if it becomes like very evident that we can't like put more people in the flotilla on the southern shore, we could start on the northern shore, and then maybe that's when we start saying, let's put boats out to the eastern shore, and then running things back and forth. Again, this all depends. Like, are the elves going to attack? I don't know. But what I'm trying to do right
Right.
now is just create the best defense we can.
Right, and that's what I was, implying with all that stuff
Yeah,
is
it's
would
and
that
again,
be a
he
good
says,
defense
great idea,
if
great
we
idea.
were going to go on the offensive? Because it's something where if that were something that could be a possibility, we might be able to run out there and kind of check it out,
Mm.
see if we find anything. It might help us. There might be something that we get some money involved.
He says like
It's all
I
just
think
based on what we find.
yeah I think actually hold on one sec because I need a bio break. I'll be right back.
Okay. Because I mean, we might be able to go over there, and there are people who have been set up for life. So maybe we find some cool stuff. Maybe it's just really expensive stuff, and then we can sell it. And
Maybe we just go on a very long adventure and, it spans a while. We all had to break up for 3 years and then we'll get back together and then keep sailing. And then eventually
but we're
we'll
not
find,
even sailing.
and then we'll just
That's the
find
thing. We're
the
just walking
friendship.
like a mile away.
That was truly the true treasure of it all.
The Nakama ship.
uh,
I mean, it's like the same distance to where the Fight Club was. That got interrupted. Or the path. The journey was interrupted. The journey towards the nightclub. And Nakamaville. So, like, I don't know if people are interested in this.
Two things just to throw it out there. One, as soon as I got up and made that bio break happen, my cat has taken over my chair. Arna, I
Yeah.
know you like the chair, but it's my chair. Can I have it back? Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow. Yes, you're a great cat, but you can't be in the chair. Come on. He's like meow, 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 meow you. All right. Sorry. What I wanted to try to get out as like as I'm like, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go. Is he's a little cautious. He says, "I'll never tell anybody to not, try to seek the rewards that life could give to them." But I'm also worried that from what you've been able to bring to Sequin, as far as like help and everything thus far, um, that the sunken ruins, the map makes it look like it's all above ground, but in actuality, most of that is soggy, muddy swamp that the ruins are underground, and that there are a series, from what I've heard, of like lava tunnels and tubes that constantly recreate and then collapse. And that's usually how people die, is they think that they found a pathway into somewhere, and then as they're exploring, the lava shifts, and either they're burnt and immolated alive, or the tube collapses on them, and there's no air left and they can't get out. So it is a dangerous place, and I would not recommend anybody go in there without knowing, like, full well the dangers.
But I mean, told us today.
You said danger, and I was like, "Fucking, I'm an adventurer."
Let's get dangerous.
Darkwing Duck. Anyways, I saw a video the other day
When there's
online
trouble,
of
you call DW.
yeah, there was like a dude in a house that had two huskies, and the dog's like just sitting there with like dog face, right? Like, And he goes, "What's the matter? You okay?" Dog's like, "Do you want me to sing Darkwing Duck?" Starts singing. The dog just starts running in circles. Tail starts wagging. Runs down the stairs. Run back up the stairs. He's like, "Yeah!" Guy stops singing. Dog sits down. He's like, starts singing the song. Gets super excited. I was like, "That's a good dog. I could get behind that dog. It's fine." So, but yeah, so that's what Lee gives back to you with regards to that. He says, what I really think we should do first is build up a flotilla both on the North Shore and the South Shore, and there are Shaelesti galleons out to the Eastern Shore surrounding us, and I think that once we've got a force large enough and still be under the radar, that's when maybe we could start to do that. But as far as putting people and efforts into the sunken ruins, I feel the risk is higher than the reward.
Um,
Somebody's
would
scared.
yes. Would there be any value to try and like spread out the south, create some sort of presence?
Yes, and he says you're kind of beating me to the punch right now. So like the map can only be so much of the map, but the series of ships that are like moored off the shore, like down here,
Yeah.
is the start of what his plan is. Like refugees keep coming in, and the Shaelesti are not molesting or stopping them if they're coming in by boat. Um, they're just saying no one can leave once they're in. So basically, people can come through their barricade but not leave. That's their tenet right now. And so, what excuse me, what Lee wants to do is take this number as it continues to grow and start to like build like pockets and then pockets. Come on, pockets, pockets, and then the same on the North Shore. But he feels like that's the best way to create a front, but he doesn't want to do it along the North Shore until he has enough that would make it likely that like leadership would say start mooring off the North Shore, because there's still this pervasive attitude of we don't really want the refugees here. As Votbird had been saying, he's like, we want to get every refugee that comes in and monitor them and find out if they're like vicious Mexican rapists. sorry, that sounds way too political for where we're at right now in the world, but the same concept. So Regessian rapists kind of thing. So yes.
I'm sure there's some good people, but they're not sending the best Regessians. Speaking of not sending the best Regessians, are there any builders?
What,
I mean,
I'm sorry, what do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
like, what are all these Regessians that are in the refugee camps and stuff? They must have been doing something before this. There must be some people who are, shipbuilders and house builders.
He says, to be honest, I would assume you're correct, and that there are probably people of all sorts of trades that currently find themselves in the refugee camps. But as far as things to do with them, as to yet, there's been no public works program that's been set up. For the most part, those who are like, sequin, I bleed sequin blue kind of thing, are the folks that have lived there, and the refugees have been keeping outside of that in like their sort of tent settlements. There have been some people who have been wealthy enough to purchase homes. I mean, you guys are literally part of
Thank you.
that part of that group. But for the most part, there's been this divide, and I mean, and you guys, you can see that. I'm just gonna do this in like, why is it being so stupid? Like this, hello, do the thing. Yeah, so this sort of like swath that's right here, right? So like that swath is like the division between like Camp Refugi and folks who are the Sequin residents kind of thing.
So who's like in charge of the town? Is it Simon?
Simon is in charge of the Lyceum Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Vopbird is basically the town mayor.
Who is Vopbird? What one was that?
So Dwarven ex-pirate who now presides over the government of Sequin.
That wasn't the guy I beat, was it? No.
Yeah, he's the dude that you first kind of caught wind of when you were like, how can we help the town of Sequin? And he was like, I've heard stories of fires, and I think it's those goddamn refugees. And then you guys went and fought fire rats, and you went back to him and were like, hey, the fires were fucking fire rats. And he was like, oh, I'll put out word so people start stopping up holes in their basement so the fire rats don't get in. It doesn't answer the question of where the fire rats are coming from, but it does say, here's a way to deal with it, and it's not the refugees. However, at the War Council, he's still pretty anti-refugee, because he's the dude that was like started off going like, I think the best thing we can do is round up everybody that comes in, and if they've got potential, we make them a police officer to bully everybody that doesn't have potential. And then they also don't have to stay in Sequin, because they can just stay in their tent city. And that was...
Okay, then never mind. I was going to ask him stuff, but never mind. I don't need his permission anymore, because he's a dick. Got it. Perfect.
Well,
I have a plan.
You know what he is? He is a person that lives in an Arizona border town that is very white. And rather than say, oh shit, you traveled for how long to try to get in this country and do better for your family? No, you're not white. And also, the best thing we can do is build a wall, because I don't want to see that ever again. So
actually, holy shit, he and I are almost on the same page.
I mean,
all right.
Shit. Like, okay. I mean, if you're gonna find your family here, you find your family. That's what it is. So.
No, we're splitting them up. So, okay. So let's go. I have an idea. I can't convince people though, so. I need some Venice. Oh, boo!
So I'm looking. I'm looking. At
Never
the map right
mind.
now.
I'll come up with a different idea.
Well, hold on. I'm looking at the map. I'm looking at what we've done right now, and what I would really like to do is throw it over to Sylvanas, because we haven't really had Sylvanas for a hot minute, because
Nah, he's
been
spoken
touring the
for.
world. And did anybody want to go with Sylvanas? So Moruk is researching infernal tableaus. Nim is, working with political leaders, rivals, etc. Obscurities, relating details, and then going home dry but tired. I don't know. I see Kane is here, but I also saw Chris's message before, so I don't know if he's just been logged in since last week. I don't know. And so I guess, does anybody go with Nim? Because Nim, you could say, I would say that Torrent's probably with Nim right now, because she's talking to Lee, and the whole time
Yeah.
she's still, you can just tell she's feeling weirded out, like she's got this weird
Yep.
vibe by her. But if you want, you could have Katrina roll with you, because she's looking for something to do.
Sure.
Or you could just do this solo. So what do you want to do, Sylvan?
Would Kane want to go with you too?
And also, I mean, Kane could go too. I just, if Chris isn't here, that's the party decision. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I'm offering him, so if you want him, depending on what you're thinking, I don't know if he might be a benefit or a detriment. It's like, I want to go. Ah, shit, he's a paladin. Go away.
He's very attractive, but what do you want to do with it?
Hey, that's a bad guy, and he's been stealing from people. So, and then he gets away because he's so fast. So you should go break his legs. Then the next day, there's news all around the town about how the lead actor of the play is no longer able to perform because he mysteriously got his legs broken.
I think we watched it. I think I watched it with you, Kevin, at one point. But like Dorkness, the Gamers Rising, or whatever it is, where they have the paladin, and they want to torture the the demon they captured to like get information, and they're like, the paladin's like, you cannot do that while I am here. It is against my alignment. And they're like, oh no, is that someone striking a child outside? And they're like, and he's like, what? And he runs outside, and then they just keep going from there. Meanwhile, inside they're like just slap festing the demon to get him to talk. So yeah, but yeah. So
I know I saw that movie, but then I went to try and watch it. Excuse me, watch it again. I hadn't remembered like any of it, and I'm gonna have to watch it again.
it's funny. Like, I haven't seen it in a hot minute. It's on YouTube,
Right.
and it is funny. But that said, so all right. So Venice, you're gonna head down to the Southern District. Are you taking Kane with you? Are you taking Torrent? Or are you just going solo super spy? Right? What are you doing?
Katrina.
I might take Katrina. That might
That's
help.
what I mean, not Torrent. Katrina, sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I'll take Katrina with me. That might make it might make it a little easier than having a paladin running around, trying to save the world.
That's fair. So
Instead, you've got a Scottish chick who's trying to yell at everyone. So,
hey, listen.
pros and cons.
But she's not a goody two shoes. I mean, really. So yeah. So you guys go down there, and I think what I'll have you do is I'll have you roll me an investigation check, please.
All right. See if this actually works this time. Ooh, nice. 22.
So, from what you've been able to garner from the group, and the group hasn't told you a lot because of reasons,
Oh.
but what you do know is that there is a shop in this southern harbor called Majestic Creations that's owned by one Paradigm Dogwood. He's a human. He's a transmuter. And the people who went to Lee's house originally, you actually may have been part of this, Savannah's. Um,
Good night,
Leanne,
fuckos.
there he is. There he is.
Is that
A
what I have?
double Brian
There he
sighting on a
goes.
Thursday. Um, he
Wow.
he was there and he was talking about some craziness as far as like modifying human flesh into other things. But he's got a space, he's got a spot, he's got a storefront called Majestic Creations. And your investigations that you've been kind of digging around, asking questions, sleuthing, if you will, gumshoeing, if you will, great word, gumshoeing, is that
I don't know, mouse.
the Cinderies halfling crime lord Cernabon Gremlin that you learned about
Hmm.
is rumored to be tied into in some way Majestic Creations. So what do you want to do? Shop's open, it's daylight, got a couple hours. What do you want to do?
Um. All right. Yeah. I want to, since we already investigated the magical creations area. Um. I'd probably start trying to gather information without really being.
Well, you feel you might have some like names to drop now. You might be able to go back in and drop some names and see what's up.
Well, I'm not sure I could drop names on the guy I charmed. So.
I mean, when he's charmed, he's going to be your friend, but your charm is probably worn off now.
That's
So
that's. I just don't see a purpose for going back into the same shop because he's going to already know I had charmed him, and so that's not going to work out.
I
Just
don't know that's how charm works. I think that when charm wears off,
the creature knows.
you
Not,
sorry, go
yeah, no. That's the charmed creature regards you as friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you.
Oh shit. Okay. Uh, I didn't realize that. In other games, it was like when the charm wears off, like, oh shit, what just happened? Where am I right now? What's going on? So, um, all right. So in that case, what might be of benefit then is if you know that the storefront is a locality, and this is maybe something from that investigation check, that maybe doing a stakeout
Okay. Yeah, I can do
is
that.
something you can do.
Um, what is in the area around the shop?
So there's a couple storefronts here and there, but it appears that across the street is a cafe, and I'm gonna say that very liberally. Like it's a cafe, but it's got some sort of weird machine that says it makes a coffee light substance. And then there's like a series of like dispensary machines next to it that you can kind of push like a ketchup or a mustard dispenser to put in your coffee. But it doesn't seem like a lot of people use it. Like it almost feels like the storefront is a front, but it's there.
Okay. What I would do is I would just I have the hat that gives me disguise self.
That's
So
what you got when you got the scroll case, right? The hat of
yeah,
disguise.
so I would utilize the hat to cast disguise self on myself um, to appear as just an average townsperson somewhere else and just kind of wander into the cafe to make an order and just sit there and just watch.
So the first thing is I want to know, what does an average townsperson look like? Is it a human? Is it an elf?
I
Is
based
it
off of
a Toblerone? What do you look like?
well, I based it off of the anyone we encountered in the northern area near the war council meeting. If we saw any citizens kind of wandering the streets, I would just kind of remember like a couple of them just from memory.
Okay. All right. So
Um,
you do up your appearance and you look like a sequin native. right? Not a
Yeah,
refugee, but a sequin native.
correct.
And you go in, and there is a person behind the counter that's there in case like the machine doesn't work. But they just kind of look up and they're like, "Ugh," and you're like, "Ugh, ugh." And so you make yourself a cup of something, whatever this is, and you sit down and you watch. Now, you had said that you took our firebrand with you. Is she with you, or did you send her somewhere else?
Um, I would send her into. Uh, Actually, what could I do? Because how stealthy is she?
You know what? That's a good question. She is. Sorry, I gotta look it up. Come on, where are you? Nope. Come on, Katrina. She has a dex of +1, so she does not have a stealth check, so it would just be a +1 to whatever she rolls.
Okay. Um, I think what I would have her do is just wander the uh, wander around the city a little bit. I would let her know where I am, but I would have her wander around, see if she could gather um, just from observations if she notices anything out of the ordinary or any folks acting a little suspicious or making certain
All right, so she's
movement.
out on patrol, just
Yeah.
wandering, getting her steps in for the day, and you're
Yep.
there, and some time goes by, but all of a sudden you see this like entourage come down the street, and it's only like maybe like 6 or 7 people, but it is clearly a group of like large and not large, I'm sorry, medium and small sized people that are very finely dressed, but are also either wearing cloaks or something that looks like them attempting to like create some sort of subterfuge. And they kind of pull up outside of Majestic Creations, and one figure goes in, and the rest of them kind of turn and are like looking out at the street. And you're sitting there looking right at them right now. So what do you do?
All right. So figure comes in. Well, how big was the entourage they came with?
So there was a solid 6 or 7 people, and now there's like 5 or 6 people in the street, because one of them went into the Paradigm Dogwoods Majestic Creations.
How many floors is the creations shop?
You know that it's got the one floor, but there were several back rooms that some of which you saw.
Okay. I would exit, but I would try to walk in a manner that I could get into a back alley behind the shop without being seen by the entourage out front.
Roll me a stealth check.
All right.
Doesn't have to be high.
Uh,
Just don't suck. That's fine. That's fine.
yeah,
You just,
thank God.
you get up from the cafe, you walk out, you kind of walk on your side of the street, you cross over, and you duck down an alleyway. What do you do?
I want to see if I can find a window of some nature in order to either listen in or if I find a back door that I can maybe pick the lock on and try to sneak
So
in.
you make it down the alleyway because you want to go back and you want to kind of like, peer in
Yeah.
and see what's going on. So you go down the alleyway and hang a right because you're gonna hook back and you're gonna go on the backside. You come up on the backside of the building and you see that the backside of the building doesn't have windows. The backside of the building does have a door. You
Okay.
come up to the door and you realize that the door is locked, and you put your ear to it, and you can kind of hear muffled talking. But if you want to try to get in and hear more, you're going to have to either unlock it or do something else. So what do you do?
I was going to try and sleight of hand unlock it.
Okay, let's try it.
Let's see. Oh, 10. Almost hit
10.
that 18.
So you don't you have like
I do
thieves
have something.
tools? Doesn't that give you advantage for sleight of hand and lockpicking?
Let me
I
just.
feel like you have something that gives you advantage on. I mean, if you don't, then whatever. But I feel
I
like you do.
have these tools.
And these tools either gives you a plus or it gives you advantage. I think it gives you advantage.
Yeah, I don't see. It's always something. It's like, what does these tools actually do?
How about let's do this? It gives you advantage. So roll that again. If you get a
Ah,
10 again, it's not going to work. But you get roll it again.
okay. Woo!
All right. Thank God you have thieves tools. Um, and you're able to like you pull out the bobby pin and something that's got like a couple notches that you can click the tumbler, and as you do that you kind of fish around for a second and it does it. It's quiet, but it's like a definite sound. And so as you put your thieves tools back in your pocket, you touch, there's like a pressure point at the top that you push to release the hatch, and as you do that you can open the door. So you do it. Now I want your stealth check.
16.
It's a good stealth check. Do some private rolls. Okay. You open the door slightly, and the voices kind of get clearer. Do you peer your head in to see, or do you just open it so you can hear better?
Um, well, first I'd open it a little bit to see how much, if there's light coming out, or if it's a completely dark room, because I want to make sure I'm not
So
open.
as you open the door, the voices get clearer, as in they're in the room on the other
Okay.
side of the store.
All right, I would just open it just a crack in order to listen.
All right. And so as you open the door, you hear this gruff voice, um, that is saying, um, "Listen, I you know that I need special attractions at the brothel, and I know that you've been delivering, but gotta make sure no one can trace this back. Are you sure no one knows what it is you've been doing? I've been hearing you've been doing special jobs and making townsfolk happy, giving them cat's ears or making them look like orcs or not like orcs or whatever it is. Sounds like people might start getting suspicious. And I can't be having that. When I grabbed those girls and I brought them down to you, I told you what you had to do. Did it. I also can't have that come back on me." And then you hear this voice like, "I don't know how anyone could bring this back to me. I mean, I've been doing what you asked me to do. I've been making the money, been doing a thing. People want to be what they want to be, and I make them what they want to be. That's it." And so this like um, back and forth happens for a minute, and the gruff voice is like, I'm putting you on warning, I'm putting you on notice for any more rumors, that could tie this place to my business. We're out, and that means you're out. Do I make myself clear? Oh, personally, I mean, perfectly. I get it. I get it. I mean, like, I need to run a business too and make money, but I don't want you to be mad, so I understand. Okay, all right. And then you hear like this, like what sounds like a toddler stomping off, um, and then like it sounds like somebody like sweeping or cleaning up or doing. What do you do?
Okay. Interessante.
Do you slam the door shut and be like, "I heard you bitches," and run away, or like,
No, I would softly close it in order to then reassess what I am doing.
okay, so give me a stealth check.
Oof. 10.
As you start to close the door at the last moment, it scrapes a little bit, in that, like, you know how sometimes a door frame
Yep.
is tight against a door frame, and so it's sort of like, and you hear, "Oh, that's weird. Let me go check this out." And you hear footsteps coming, like someone's gonna open the door. What do you do?
Um.
Yikes! He shouts.
Yikes!
Oh
Zoinks!
no! Oh
uh,
wowza!
I guess in the moment, how far away do the footsteps sound?
They're right on you. Like you've got an action. What are you doing?
Um. Hold on. Hold, please. One
Hold,
moment.
please.
Oh. Can I cast invisibility on myself?
You have enough time to do it.
All right. Now cast invisibility on myself.
As you cast invisibility in yourself, and you
Oh
kind of
wait.
like,
Hold on. Let me see if this is what I think it is. Let's see. C. Hold on. Oh wait, no, that means charge, not ritual. Yeah. All right.
as you cast invisibility in yourself, and you kind of like that, like wink, and you go out of existence. The back door opens, and you see Paradigm Dogwood look around, and he's like, "I could have sworn I heard somebody out here." Takes another look. He's like, "Oh well, magic be magic. All right, let's go back to making people what they want to be." And like closes the door, and you hear like a lock again, and it locks. Um, what do you want to do now?
Well, I want to uh follow the dude while I'm invisible.
All right, so you race back around to the front of the shop, like you run back around. And by the time you get there, it seems like they are several paces away from you, but not far enough that you can't follow them. It just is that they are they're they're a ways away, and so invisibility gives you,
An
how
hour.
long is it? An hour? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So you are able to kind of like walk behind them. At one point, there's a lady going like, buy some flowers," and she hits you in the face, and the flowers snap in half. And she's like, "What the fuck?" And then you're like, "Oh Jesus!" And you make it around, but nobody notices. Um, and they tuck into a bar, and that bar is called the Thieves' Pint.
Okay.
And they go in, and rather than like what you saw at like this with this entourage um at the what was it? I'm sorry, the Majestic Creations, they all go in, and the doors close behind them, and they're these thick, heavy, black wooden doors. What do you want to do?
Um.
Excuse me.
I would do the same of walking around the pub, see if there's a back door, back window.
Hmm. So okay, so you kind of like, invisibly walk around the pub, and there is a doorway leading down that you see on the backside of it, but apart from that, the windows on this place are that like classic, like yellowed glass with like the
Yeah.
lead cross hatching on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't look like it's something you can see through with the windows, but the light coming out, and there does sound like some jovial music. But the one thing that you see as far as like another entrance is a doorway. And as a person who's worked in Boston, or did work in Boston for several years, this is very common, right? Because as the city builds up, your basements get harder and harder to get to. So there are these doorways that you have to walk down several steps to get into from the sidewalk. And that is what you see on the backside.
Okay. Can I try and get in there?
Shockingly, you go down there and the door is open. There is no, as you try the handle, there's no resistance, as in it's ready to open.
Okay. I would slowly and stealthily open the open that there door up and see what shenanigans I could get into.
So you open the door, and as you come in, you see there is a basement. It's like all like kind of like rough brick and mortar. There's cobwebs around here, there, and and on the back of the door as it starts to like close behind you because it's on one of those uh like like V hinges that like opens up and then makes the door close. There's a
Yep.
note that says expect brewery deliveries today. um and so maybe that's why that door had been left open.
Okay.
But you stand there and you see several like very vast kegs, but and you hear music coming down from upstairs with as well as like the thumping of feet, potentially people like stomping their feet to the music or dancing. And at the far end of this, there is this sort of cobwebby, not the stair treads themselves, but like underneath the risers, or not the risers but the stringers, um a set of blackwood stairs that lead upstairs, but they lead up to a hatch that would have to be opened to come down to.
Okay. Um. Ooh, I have an idea. So what I would
Yikes.
what? Yikes. Uh,
Yikes! Hey, hold on.
what?
Security did a great job.
Tommy boy, I've got a plan. Yikes.
Yikes!
What I would
Figured out the
need.
root of the problem. Now get rid of it.
All right. So what I'd want to do is, I think what I would do is have. Does anything look like it's been placed kind of precariously?
I mean, in the corner, maybe you see like a series of crates that have been like hastily stacked. But apart from that, like it doesn't look like it just looks like people were like they're empty crates and they were like throw them over here before we like put them out on the street and say, does anybody want like pallet wood kind of thing or whatever. So
Um, what I would do is I want to create a diversion to try and get someone to open up the door to come on down. So I would want to let me see what I can do. Uh all right, so this I guess what I'd do is I'd knock on the door. I would make a knocking sound on the inside of the door, if that makes sense. And then um, wait by the stairs for someone to uh, come down, since they're expecting a delivery.
from upstairs after you make the sound, this like it takes a hot minute, but like somebody just goes, you know where to put it, just put it in the keg. Goes back to the revelry upstairs.
Okay. Um, in that case, I would knock over one of the kegs while still being invisible in order to create more of a diversion to try and get someone to come
So the
down.
kegs are like, if you've ever been to Germany, they're like the
I know.
giant casks. That's what they are.
Okay. In that case, I would knock over the crates that are hastily.
All right. So you smash down some crates, and you hear from above like, "Ah, damn it! What is this? What's happening?" Um, and yeah, you hear like fumbling on the latch. The latch opens up, and a couple halflings come down, like these kind of swarthy Bob's Burgers looking halflings come down, and they're like, "Ah, what the hell's happening? Ah, I finally fell down." Ah, ah." And they come down and they start working on stacking the crates back up so they're not going to fall down. What do you
In the
do?
meantime, I am slowly going up the ladder and going into the bar itself.
You go upstairs, total club scene. People are dancing, people are doing drugs, people are doing whatever. There's a bar, and then off to the side, you see the entourage all sitting there, enjoying, smiling, people coming over to say their respects. And you see that there's an upstairs too. Only way to get upstairs, get through the entourage, and then go up the stairs.
So what? So the entourage is in front of the staircase.
So, like if you've ever had like bottle service in a
Yeah.
place and they put you in a room and then they bring you your bottle that costs too much, that's what's going on. And in the back of that room are the stairs that go upstairs.
Okay. Let me just see something. Hmm. So what I would try to do is, oh, this is good. How did I do that? I am going to recreate. I'm going to use minor illusion to recreate the voice of the biomancer. What was the what's the mobster's name?
Upstairs name is Cernaban Gremlin.
All right. So I'm presuming Sardaban is here. So what I'm going to do
Well, you
is
don't see Cernaban, but you see the
okay.
stairs going upstairs.
I'm going to create an illusion of the sound, and I want the illusion to be.
Quick
Oh,
question:
yeah.
is illusion a concentration spell, and are you going to lose invisibility?
Minor illusion is a cantrip.
Okay, all right.
So I've been because I wanted to use fly or levitate, but I couldn't do that. um, so I'm going to create a illusion of his voice, but I want to have it thrown off to closer to the other end of the room from them, and say, "I want to talk to Sarah Bond, I got your stuff. Sarah, I just want to have that going on and have the entourage move away to find him.
So you're saying there's a group of people sitting there that you're going to create an illusion that says, "I want to talk to Cernaban" in a voice that they recognize, but not from a source that they can see directly.
Correct.
I will say, let's do this. Okay. 4 of them get up to go explore where this sound is coming from because they recognize both the name of their boss and the sound of a voice that they have dealt with recently. That means there are still 3 of them sitting between you and the stairs. How are you going to navigate that?
How much space is there?
There's space, but also a body moving through space creates air and pressure. So what do you do?
Um, let me see.
What do you do, sir?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, sir.
Hmm?
Um,
So polite with your cattiness.
I'm trying. Yeah, yeah. Um,
You could try to sneak by them with like a stealth check. You could try to use some sort of further magic to dissuade them or make them
well,
less
that
pervasive. So that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. What do you want
I
to do?
well, that's what I'm trying to figure out right now is what type of magic would be best because you had mentioned that even if you sneak past, it might not work. But
Well, the other thing to remember though is I'm pretty sure that with invisibility, um, a creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell is anything the target's wearing. Okay. At invisibility, I think you have like advantage on stealth checks.
okay, if that's the case, I will try to sneak by them extremely slowly.
You know, even if it's not the case, it should be. So go ahead.
All right, so
Just don't fuck up. That's all I'm just saying. I mean, you got 3 people who all have bulges, and I'm not talking about between their legs. They got stuff
oh,
they're packing. So
all right, so it's one and there's two.
okay, you're able to pass through them, and the stairs are there. Now you gotta go up the stairs. You notice that the stairs have platforms to step on, but there are no stringers behind them. They just sit there elevated in the air. As you step up them, you get to the top, and there is a large door painted blue. What do you do?
Well, now that we're done rhyming,
I can keep going, but I mean, that's what you see.
well, I do want to go through,
You want to throw through the door that's blue? All right. But
but
yeah, so what do you want to do? You just going to throw your shoulder to it? You're going to open it up?
no,
What are you doing?
no. First, do I observe? I want to first take a real good look at it to see if it looks like it's trapped at all, or there's any spell that is on it.
Give me an investigation check. Give me an investigation check, and then maybe more. So roll that investigation check. 21 is good enough. Roll an arcana check. 21 again. You see that there is a sigil at the top of the door. That the only way you're going to be able to bypass that is with some real effective lockpicking. Fortunately, you have lockpick tools. You're an arcane based person. I'm going to say that you have advantage to do this, but understand that that lock check is going to be high. And if you want to get through it and not get affected by whatever this sigil does, you got to make that check.
Um, and that sigil, would I be able to dispel it?
Uh, what levels can you dispel?
Um, any spell 3 or lower.
But if it's higher than 3,
For each spell of fourth or higher, make an ability check using the spellcasting ability. The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
that's what you're going to have to do for this.
Um, 10 plus. So, right, I wouldn't get any make an ability check using your spell ability, which would be spellcaster ability. I think is wisdom, right? No,
For
it's
you, I think that's right.
charisma. Charisma.
Correct.
No, wisdom. Right. Anyway, all right. What's this do? I let me try. This one would be a +5. Side hand +4. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm doing this right. I will try for the sleight of hand. So,
Well, I thought Dispel Magic was a D20 plus your modifiers.
I think it's yeah, but my
Can
modifier
you
is a
throw it in the chat?
yeah. I mean, my modifier is a. The problem is I'm not sure how high the level is unless it's not unless it's only like a 5th level spell. Then yeah, I'd go for that for dispel. But I don't know if it's like a 7th or 8th level spell.
So you're not sure. It is above your current caster level ability. So that would mean that you need to do for each spell of 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spellcaster ability. The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level. On a successful check, the spell ends. So effectively, you are going to roll a d20 plus your spellcaster ability modifier.
Okay.
And if it is at that or better, it will knock this off. If not,
All right.
something else will happen.
I guess I'll dispel. See what happens.
All right. Roll your check and see what happens.
Oh, 17 plus the 5 for 22.
I'm not going to lie. You needed a 16 to pass that. But you passed it. I really hope that you didn't. But as you cast Dispel Magic, which causes you to say words out loud. So I'm going to need you to roll a stealth check, because there are 3 people behind you walked behind that are still sitting in seats.
11.
You start to hear behind you.
Wait, you're invisible, right?
He's invisible. Yeah. So stealth check. Yeah, stealth check advantage. Before I tell you what happens.
Oh, 23.
Fucking Kevin. Damn it, Kevin, give me this. But anyways, you say these words, but you say them in less than a whisper. And you see the door flicker for just a moment from blue to red to this verdant green. You think the door's going to be open to you if you walk up and open it.
I will carefully try and open the door. But slowly, because I want to make sure that if I start to hear anything, like any sound beyond.
So you open the door, and the green door opens into a room that looks like an atrium. There's plants, there's flowers, there's birds, butterflies. And in the middle of all of this is a desk, but the desk is like kindergarten height. You see behind the desk a halfling. A halfling that's got an eye patch on, and somehow that makes the halfling even more adorable. He's got a quill, is scribbling things down on his desk. And as the door opens and quietly closes behind you, the halfling says, What is it? What do you want?
Um,
And like the scritching of the quill on the paper continues, and then stops. Quill goes back in, dips a few times, then goes back in and says, I said it already. What is it that you want?
sorry, I'm getting over the pint-sized Arnold Schwarzenegger right now. Um, sorry, I'm trying to think of the words I want to say exactly, and in the way I want to say it.
Do you need me to crush you? I can do it. What? What do you want?
Sorry, Tom. I'm trying to come up with the actual thing I want to do
If you
before.
want me to put you on a chopper, what I will do is I'll put you on a belt and you'll be chopped up. What? What do you want? You've come to disturb me. What do you want?
Using once again the throwing of the voice, I might want to sidestep slowly to the side and have it by the door in uh, the voice of the biomancer. I've come to deliver the objects. To see what his reaction is.
Shakes his head. Says, look, I see where you're stepping in the flowers. You're making footpaths. I know you're invisible. Tell me what you want, or I'll kill you right now. What? Tell me.
I've
Made it
come,
through my
sir.
door. Good for you. Okay. Oh, you made it through my entourage. Good for you. Good. Oh, okay. But I got things to do. What do you want?
I've come seeking certain individuals that have gone missing in the recent days. You have been quite messy in your undertakings.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's okay. You might not think you know. I mean, based on what I truly understand, you're just trying to make a living by getting people exactly what they want. But you can't
Listen,
make.
invisible man. And you see that he looks around the room because you stopped moving and now he doesn't know where you're at. He goes, listen, invisible man. All I can tell you is this. I run a business. People pay me for the business. If you're here to give me the business, I will give you the business. Either state your claims or get out. What do you want?
I want your victims of their kidnapping. I want them
I have
released.
no victims. Move on. What else do you want? You want a kiss? Do you want a hug? Do you want to be healed? I can do all of these.
I want you to free the women in your brothel.
They are paid a fair wage. They come to me and say, give me job. I give them job. Move on. What's your next thing? Or I will call for my entourage to come out and sweep this place and make you swatted like fly.
Where did you bring the people that you brought to the biomancer?
I give. I don't know what you're talking about.
Once again, I do know everything. Where did you bring them? Or where did you sell them?
And once again, I know that you're in this room, and I can make this room locked. And then it's only a matter of time before I find the bug that pesters me. I give you a chance to not be squashed, bug. What do you want? And if you don't have something that I can give, then maybe it's time for a bug to buzz off.
Is there any way that I could? Does he seem like a powerful spellcaster?
He give me a Arcana check. We'll do that. Arcana check, sure.
19.
So he seems like he has access to spells, but that doesn't seem to be the focus of whatever powers he has.
I'd try to charm him.
Okay, all right.
So I would need a wisdom 16.
So Venice is attracted to men with power,
Listen, everybody's got their kink. They're gonna do
right?
this.
It's fair.
He rolls a 19. He rolls a 19.
Oof. Okay.
14 on the die.
Fair enough. Um.
Again, I give you chance. You've made it this far. But if you cannot give me reason to not kill you, well,
I am merely looking for women who have gone missing in recent days. My investigation led to a biomancer who told me that you dealt with him specifically in regards to these missing women. And then later, I heard your conversation with him specifically regarding this.
I know nothing of these women. I know nothing of this conversation. Did you see me? Can I tell you? I can't even see you. How can you be trusted to know anything besides just lies you spew? But what I can tell you is this: I run a business. That business provides things to people who have power. What power do you have besides being invisible? I'm guessing not much. So listen, again, I give you three options now. One is you leave and I do not think about this again. Or two, I go, you die. Maybe by me, maybe by the people who come in here. Or three, why don't you work for me? You give me information. You get some power, you get some recognition. This town gives you what you want. You don't have to pay for it no more. It's up to you. I would think one of these sounds good. One of these sounds bad. One of these, well, it probably leaves you still on the hook. So what do you do, Mr. Smoke and Mirrors?
A job, you say? Very interesting that you would offer
I
someone.
did not say a job. I said you give me information for it.
And what
There's no
sort of
pay.
information are you looking for?
Information is how I stay on top. Those who don't give it to me, well, they don't need a job no more. Those
Well,
that
that's
do
the
give me
question of
information,
what type of information are you even looking for? How do I know that I even could fit this and you won't necessarily just get rid of me at the drop of a hat?
you don't. I could whistle. I'll do it louder. You decided to come in here. I did not decide to come in wherever you are from.
Um,
From somewhere else you hear, "Hey boss, are you okay up there? Everything okay?" you do, Savannah? What do you do?
Well, I'm trying to figure that out. I wish I could just intimidate him into giving me more information.
I mean, you could try. He's got a good check. He's got a really good check, and I rolled really well against the charm. Like, if the charm had worked, this would be a very different conversation right now. But
I have a very high intimidation. So I'm going to try and intimidate him.
okay.
Damn it. 18.
All right, so I'm going to tell you what happens. Roll a 12 on the die. He's got a +5. So you roll a 17. So you beat him. You don't beat him by much.
Yeah.
And so you see that this resolve that he had about his strength in the situation wavers ever so slightly. He says, I cannot allow weak points. And you represent one. So my options now are kill you myself, which could be fun. And call my lackeys in and they could kill you too. Or, on the off chance that you could cause my industry certain irrecoverable damage, that I give you a chance to prove yourself to me. With the knowledge that if you come back and don't have information that I find worthwhile, your life and those around you, depending upon what you do, is forfeit. Because, you know what? Life is cheap. And it costs nothing to end one. So, what you think? You should probably say yes, because if I give you another deal, it's probably just, I'm concerned that you're a weak point and you should be dead. So, your call, but what is it you want to do?
Well, I guess I will try to find information, but my main goal.
No. You close your mouth. Your main goal is my main. That is your purpose now. I don't care where you go. If you're here in Sequin, you go somewhere else. I will find you. I will find you and we'll talk. And if you give me what I want, it's a good talk. It's okay. If I find you and you don't know what I know, or you know what I know, so it's of no use, there will be penalties, and you will not like the penalties. So you keep those little eyes and the ears and other things open, and hope that you know what I need to know when I ask. Yes? Yes. All right. He goes, do you want to go back out the way you came and try to sneak out? Or should I just open the door to the street? Up to you. Let me know.
Just open the door to the street.
That's a good choice. I mean, those guys below are pretty pissed right now because they think somebody got up here. I'll probably kill one of them later because, well, you know, they did. But, alright. I'll see you later. What was your name again? Don't worry. I know. Also, I know where your family is too. Alright, kisses. Goodbye. And he snaps his fingers, and like a door kind of like this roll comes up on the side, and there's a door out to the street. It opens back up, and
Wait, what did he call me? What was my name that he called me?
he said, "What's your name again? Don't worry, I know who you are. Also, I know where your family is. All right, kisses. Goodbye."
As I walk out the door, before I go out the actual doorway, do I notice any spells that would dispel anything on me?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. Because A, I had disguise self and invisibility. So,
You did. But you're also investigating him, which means you've been asking questions. And if
hmm.
he is as connected as he is, it's kind of like, when Batman says, "Tell me who's been asking about this." And that's where you're at right now. But it's been a day. All right. Everybody goes back to the house. Everybody goes back to get rested. I think right now the only people that maybe aren't part of that are Moruk, as he is still at the tower doing his thing. Am I wrong, or is that true?
I mean, that's what
I'm
I would
hearing
guess, but.
no. I was like, I'm hearing no negatives, so I think
Right.
that's true. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say everybody goes back to their house. And as you guys go back to the house, some of you got there earlier than others. So with regards to um, Dolan's character and potentially Nim as well with this, you're met by Figovich, and Figovich is like, uh, listen, you've been really good employers, and I am happy to continue. But I recognize that maybe your house needs some. What do you say? Security. So I have some friends, and we are willing to set up a perimeter 24-hour a day like watch on your house to make sure people don't come and try to take your shit. But there is a price. Um, so you have been very nice, and you've been paying me this 1 gold a day cost for rumors, and I hope that I've been living up to this cost, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. But what I would say is that for the 4 or 5 people that I can get to provide this constant security, um, well, it's going to cost 1 more gold a day. I will continue with the rumors. I will be part of security. In fact, I will be the head of security for you. And I have several people who are very trustworthy that will make sure that nobody comes in to take your stuff or to mess with you while you're sleeping. Um, does this sound good? Because I think it does. I hope it does, and I'm hoping that this is what I can move on to. So what do you think?
I give him 10 gold.
That is many days payment. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Um, I again, I will be here in the morning. I know that it's getting late. Obviously, all of you are tired. But what will I do? I will I will set up to make sure that there are several people around your house to ensure that you are safe. At both entryways and patrols, and also I will go out into the town again to find more how you say rumors and/or jobs that you may find things that you want to do. Um, and thank you very much. You are perhaps the best employers I have ever been a part of before. So thank you very much. Um, and so with that, everybody kind of I'm noticing that we don't have people in 20 anymore, which is making me think that people are dropping out. So everybody makes it back to the house and finds a place to kind of sleep and rest and go from there. The one thing that I think I will ask is, so with Nim's payment, you have a security detail outside the house. Does do you guys feel the need to set up additionally like a watch inside, or is everybody just like we are in the home and we are good to go and let's go from there?
I think that'll probably be a place where we might want to get everyone on and have them make
So
that
maybe that's
call
a
with
question
us.
for the start of next week. Okay.
The one thing I would like to say is, what's it, Judson? You know,
Figovich, yes.
he I'm gonna see if he can find out if there are people who are refugees who know how to build, ships and houses, and others who are just willing to work and
So like
have
carpenter,
labor.
shipwrights, etc. Okay. He says,
Right.
I will make it a point to check these things out tonight while you rest, and what I will be able to provide, I will give you in the morning when you wake up. Yes. Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Yes. So the just so it's easy for everyone to remember, around your house there are 4 people. There is one at one, so the house has like an eastern and western door. There are 4 people, and what you should do is call them Nigovich, Istovich, Sotovich, and Westovich, and those
Yeah.
are the 4. So it's the easiest way to remember them, I think. You could also go with Nortovich instead of Nikovich. Sorry about that.
Right.
But
Okay.
but these people are trustworthy. I would not bring them to you otherwise. You have been very well-paying employers, and I appreciate the opportunity to make sure that not only I continue to get paid, but those that I trust do as well. So yes, this is what we do.
Excellent.
And I
Good
think
to hear.
All right, and I think as we are at like quarter of midnight right now, that is a decent spot to stop. Again, I started tonight not knowing where anybody was going to go. I was like, I've got like 4 things I can throw. I don't know what we're doing, so let's do that. And we went in no direction that I thought we were going to do. So good job, but also good job. No one's dead. You found out some more stuff about the city. You may one of your party members may be now in bed with a mob, and good job. Like stuff happens. I mean, shit happens, and yeah, and also, at least one of your party members is embroiled in like a heavy duty nerd research session to find out more. So
Yes.
yeah, so there's that too. So
But that one was optional and
and taken advantage of.
voluntary.
Yes,
Yeah, as
yes.
opposed to
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
go
saying it was one of
here.
those
Oh
things where I'm
no.
like, you don't need to be part of this. I want to be part of this. All right, you're part of it. All right, cool, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Right.
So, but all
I
right.
want to
Well,
learn
cool
more
beans.
Infernal and
Like, yeah. Again, it's this week was not like combat heavy or craziness. And after last week, I it's fun to let you guys go in a town, and it's a small area, to see what you want to do. And we had ideas about like how to build up a war effort. We had ideas about how to try to like solve the mystery of missing people, and it was good stuff. So I hope folks are still having fun with this, and I will talk to you all. Well, most for everybody that's on the call, I think right now, talk to you all on
right.
Saturday. But otherwise, I will talk to you all next week. All right.
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good.
Night, everybody.
Good
Later.
night. Well, shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair point.
I tried my best to get out of that as much as I could.
I mean,
I only have like first level and second level spells left, so there's no big like fireball I could do.
where are all your spells? Wait,
Well,
what level
I
do you
had
have?
used them all apparently. Um, I'm not sure when though. Like, I'm not sure if these were not used from a previous session, like a previous day, and we had healed fully, and I just had not done anything.
Yeah,
But
like I'm trying to see like what ones you even have that even you would have used. I
I
mean,
don't know.
Dispel Magic you used. That was at
Yep,
level 3.
correct.
So that's one of them. But that was your third one, right?
Yeah, that
Because
was
I
my.
haven't refreshed. So I'm
No,
showing as you
yeah, that
used
was my
two
third one.
third level and you used your fourth level spell, but it's,
Correct.
you in the meantime you have one third level left, and so you use that on Dispel Magic.
Which was the best thing I could do.
Right.
Uh, but
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. We must have healed in the meantime.
yeah,
So even that, excuse me. It's like, like you said, there's only really Fireball that you're going to be doing in there.
yeah, and it's like, could I have used, you know, Kane? Possibly, but the problem is I had to be all stealthy, and there was no way that I doubt the character sheet for Kane is something that has a lot of stealth on it.
Oh, yes. I'm like, is Kane like a spell? Do you have an item? Oh, the player. Alright, now I have to take a bio break, but I'm also going to be jumping off as well.
Fair enough.
Gotta make lunch for tomorrow and then go to bed because I still have work, even though it's stupid and I hate it. But at least I had a good interview today, so
Hey, congrats.
hopefully that's something. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help with. I mean, it would be basically a lateral move in terms of money, but it's somewhere else that's not, hopefully, not going to make me miserable.
Yeah.
And then I can, like, one of the first things we talked about was potential growth over there. So
Nice.
it's like, if you're willing to learn these things, it, commands more money sort of stuff. And it's like, cool. So,
Done. Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it was good discussion with them. My fucking what the hell do you what do you give to people so that they can talk you up? What is it?
Oh, recommendation.
There it is. Holy shit. I was like, I know it's like RE, and I'm like, review, and so my brain was just not coming up with that one. But yes, so the guy, and it was funny because the girl is like the daughter, and she's 37. And she asks, like, what do you do for fun? It's like video games. And she's like, my husband does that. And the other guy in the room, he was like, oh yeah, I'm also a nerd. And so we were talking about different stuff, like in the past, instead of, because I mentioned Discord, and he mentioned, like in the past, the voice chat things that we used to have, and he mentioned TeamSpeak, and I'm like, yes, that's right. I used to use that in my World of Warcraft days. And then I'm like, there was another one too. And he's like, yeah, that's right, there was. And I'm like, I think it begins with a V. And he's like, yeah, I think you're right, but I can't remember. It's like, yeah, me neither. And then on the way home, I was stopped at a red light, and I sent Ventrilo, I think. And he just texts back, yes, with like 5 exclamation marks.
Well,
because it's just like, yes. So it went really well, but I've gotten really good situations before where it's like I feel like it's gonna be a good fit, and it just then I don't hear from them. So it's like, all right, well, fuck. So not getting my hopes up. It was just something where it's like, well, that was good. Now let's see if it does anything.
Gotcha.
So, but, yep, that's I mean,
that.
at least it's something. Then I've got a call tomorrow at 12. I don't even know what this one's for. It's just preliminary, so it's like I can, just kind of BS my way through whatever it is. I forget. I'll have to check. Shit, I still have to do that stuff for the fucking permit. Fuck. Another fucking midnight work time. That one's for my dad, and that one's for free.
Ooh, the worst
fucker. I know. I mean, it's something where it's like, we're on the same page with a lot of stuff where it's like, there's projects that he has going and like set up and stuff like that, but it's not. And then he actually gave me someone I should call as well for a potential job. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward, but at least there's something. It doesn't feel so fucking hopeless where it's just like apply. Here's back from almost no one.
Oh, that's stupid shit.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal. It's so just like disheartening and just such a defeating thing where it's like, holy fuck. Just like, hey, do you not like where you are? It's like, I don't. It's like, oh, so would you like something else? It's like, yes, please. Shut the fuck up. You stupid idiot. Suffer. Actually, try and get out of there. Good. Go try.
The what?
Now,
Bad.
fucking good luck getting any responses, even though you've sent out hundreds of fucking applications. What? No, you can take this one for 40,000 less than what you want to / have to make.
Oh, you can work for $10,000 a year? Sounds great. Wait, what? No, I can't.
Right. It was funny because I just saw a short from Thor where it's like, if you make a lot of people, if they get a raise, they'll go and they'll get a newer car or do this or whatever. And he was giving the analogy of a goldfish in a tank. And if you have a smaller tank and then you get a raise and you get a bigger tank, and then the goldfish will grow to that point, and like you'll grow to the size of your tank. And the idea is that he makes sure that he stays the same, so that way any money that he gets, like any raises, any sort of stuff like that, it doesn't go into situations where it's like now he's growing to the size of his tank. And it's like, I like that. I think that's a good idea, but also he's said, like, make your own food. It's like my groceries are, only like this much a month. And I'm like, no fucking way. It's like, shit. It's like, I'm out of money and I'm not even doing stuff. It's like, that's the biggest thing for me is like, yeah, I've got this big house, but my expenses are like, dude, I don't have a big fucking nice car or anything like that, or any. I have the biggest bullshit things.
Ugh.
So it's like I get the sentiment, but at the same time, it's like, no, fuck, just groceries are super fucking expensive. I go to BJ's and get some stuff where it's like all in bulk, and there's just some things that we're getting. I'm getting like bread and, you know, milk and eggs and different stuff, you know, general sort of things, you know, bananas and, you know, some snacks. Fucking $300 immediately, and then it's just like I bring it home and it's like, wait, shit, I didn't get dinner or anything. This isn't meal stuff. This is just like snacky bullshit that's gonna last us for like months, but it's like some big jars of peanut butter, which it's like, yeah, great, but that's not what dinner is. Fuck, I still have to figure that out tonight. What did I spend $300 fucking on? Ugh. So, and just the fucking prices are just absurd, and it's like, what the fuck? How is this much?
Yeah.
Inflation / corporate greed.
Yep.
So, yeah, you know. As much as I hand wave it right now, it's something where it's just like, oh, God, those fucking pieces of shit. It's like, tax the fuck out of billionaires. Give me my money back. You
Right.
pieces of shit. It's like, fine. I don't even care. Amazon can have this global fucking domination, or maybe it's just America. I don't know how far it is. I'd imagine global, seeing as how fucking Baldy is like second richest after the dumb bitch who's losing all his money in Twitter. So it's stuff like that where it's like, yeah, fine, go ahead, create this global thing. But now tax the fuck out of that guy so that we get that money back. Because fuck him.
Yep.
Use that. I don't want this dipshit going into space unless we intentionally just shoot him off. Just goodbye, sort of thing. Just, alright, bye. Thanks for thinking of store but online. Even though it wasn't you. You just kind of came up with a different... Yeah, you know what? Fuck you. Anyway, I think one of the things that he actually did was like the security online, the security of your credit card or something like that. I don't know if he probably didn't come up with it, but he's the one who owns it. So obviously he has Amazon and stuff, but then it's like not only like when someone uses a credit card online, Visa or MasterCard or whoever, they get their cut. But then every single one of those gives a cut to Jeffrey Bezos, where he's got the security thing. And it's like, oh, okay, like I can see where that makes you a shitload of money. Now take it back. Take that shit from him. And it's just like, well, he'll just spend it, so then he doesn't have to do that. Fine, I don't care if that money is now circulating and it's not in his fucking pockets. It's not gonna trickle down.
No, trickle down economics doesn't.
We've had decades of that shit.
Yeah, what happened? Decades of nothing.
Right.
Oh, pardon me. Ooh.
Exactly. So.
Speaking of.
Yeah.
I figured before you leave, I have an idea. I'm going to try and implement it for the voiceover the next time. I am going to try and find a table and put the TV, the spare TV that I have, on it and hook it up via HDMI to hopefully my computer and see if I can run it as a second computer and not have to worry about line readings.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just, I would say if you're thinking of doing it like that, definitely have it just mirror.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would just have a straight mirror, like not
Yeah.
extend it, just mirror it, and just be like, here we
Yeah.
go.
Because otherwise you're guessing.
Yeah.
And that's good too, because then, as whoever's in there, not only do they have the lines, but you can see whether or not the thing is recording.
Yep.
So, cool.
Makes it professional. But yeah, so I was thinking like, oh, that's great. But now you have to go take your bio break and go make lunch and go, suffer for tomorrow.
Oh, I know. Yep.
Whatever.
Hopefully only for a little bit longer. But, still suffer. All right. I'll talk to you later.
See you.